continue to sift through the big data dump of UIL realignment. And I think it's pretty easy right off the jump to say who won and say, wow, they got a really nice draw. And I did. We did that yesterday. It takes a little bit more time to figure out who's in a tougher situation. So these are my realignment losers. These are the teams that I think got the short end of the stick in UIL realignment.
And I'm going to preface this before we even start. You don't mention San Angelo Central.
I don't. We talked a lot about them
yesterday.
So
much about it, but
they are pretty clear. They're pretty clearly
number one with the bullet.
They're pretty clearly got the short end of the stick here. So I won't mention San Angelo Central, even though I just
because we talked about them so much yesterday. Okay.
One of the losers, San Marcos. Boy, the Rattlers. So, a breakout year for the Rattlers last year with quarterback Pretty Calderon. Everything was going great. And then they get put in the San Antonio District of Doom. Yeah. They get put in with Cibolo Steel and with Smithson Valley and with Converse Judson. And just
as things were looking up for the Rattlers, man.
Right.
Things were going really well.
They get shifted over one district to District 26, 6A. Oh. And now they will play the murderer's row of San Antonio teams. I'm not saying they can't make the playoffs, but I'm saying that like the road just got so much tougher for them. They
went from having a chance to win district titles to you have to fight for fourth.
Yeah, it is. It's not great there for San Marcos. They are one of my realignment losers. Another one. I was texting with a buddy yesterday about this. Anna.
I didn't realize how bad it was till
God
you told me.
in heaven. So Anna is a 4A Division I team. The poor Coyotes, man. They get put in District 7, 4A Division I with Paris. Okay, no walk in the park. Paris, North Lamar. Okay. Sanger. Okay.
Yeah.
Argyle, Salina, and Melissa.
Boy.
Oh, boy. That is, oh, God.
That is a brutal
district. Blood everywhere. It's just, oh, my God. This was like the worst possible draw for Anna.
Yeah.
Like, this was a nightmare draw for Anna. And, by the way, let's say they get the fourth spot in the play in that playoffs. They're probably drawing, like, either Dallas Carter or Alvarado in the first round. It's like, okay, so things aren't going great for Anna. They are, for me, a realignment. And, by the way, if they get past that, then they're playing one of those teams from District 5, like the Brownwood, Stephenville, China Spring, Gatesville, La Vega. Yikes. A realignment loser, and I need to explain this.
This is controversial. I'm calling it controversial.
Temple. I think Temple's a realignment loser here. So there were a number of different ways that we thought this was going to shake out. We knew that Temple was going to be making the move up from 5A to 6A. We knew that they're going to be aligned in some sort of Central Texas area. We didn't know, and we talked about this. Stepp wrote about it on the site. We talked about how we don't know exactly how they're going to shake out all the Killeen schools, Belton, Copper's Cove, Hewitt Midway, Waco, Bryan, a lot of teams that we don't really know what they're going to do with in that Central Texas area. I thought it wouldn't have been particularly fun, but I thought that maybe their best play would have been if they had been sent south. If they got sent south to Round Rock. I think that would have been best.
Right. They're already used to playing Cedar Ridge. I mean,
The secondary option would have been go in the district that they're in, but they send Hewitt Midway out of that district. Right? Send a team like Midway out so that you can be kind of the king of that district.
Yeah.
Instead, this was, in my view, the worst possible scenario for them. They get Belton, Copper's Cove, the Killeen schools, Waco, and Midway.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a real that is probably of the viable scenarios that we saw for Temple High. I think this is the worst of them.
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
This is why I disagree.
Okay.
They went from College Station and A&M Consolidated, who are both on the rise, obviously. One's a state champion.
I agree.
To, I don't know, Midway. Midway's tough, but, they're going to have good years and bad years like anyone. I just sort of look at Temple as a program that doesn't matter who they're playing. They're the tough team. They're the team no one wants. Like, I get it if you're a Temple fan. You look around and go, well, this isn't really who I wanted. I would have liked a little easier hand than this, not get beat up through district play. But all those other teams are going, dang it, we got stuck with Temple.
No, I agree with that. But at the same time, that would seem to indicate that you are arguing that Lake Travis can never be a realignment loser. or like a team like Allen can never be a realignment loser.
I kind of am. And I'm okay with that stance.
I think that
if you're that good,
I think that when you compare what Temple got compared to like what Abilene Wiley got, another team moving up a classification.
Right. I get it.
I think that of the possibilities on the table, they got the worst.
The degree of difficulty, of course, is the worst possible outcome.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, you are absolutely right. I am absolutely saying that certain teams can never be a realignment loser because they're just that good.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's where I'm at.
That's fine. I can understand that. Realignment loser, 4-team districts. Okay, guys. Listen, I understand that there are some people. There are 7 4-team districts this year in this realignment, and I understand that people are like, "Why would you not like this? Like, this is you made the playoffs." I think this is bad news because you're not playing. First of all, it's a pain in the butt for coaches because they got to find 7 non-district games.
That's the two. It's the two-pronged thing here, right? Like we say all the time, not enough teams. You could argue not enough teams make the playoffs when people complain that too many do. You should still have to earn that spot. Number one, and number two, I don't know that this redistricting does anyone any favors because you end up having to schedule all these freaking games away from district, and that's even harder.
You're
going to have to travel, number one, two, and you need to find the games.
Right. You have to find the games, and beyond that, I think if you talk to coaches, and I'd be interested in talking with maybe we can get a coach from one of these 14 districts on the horn next week, about how do you handle this? Because I think that it's real easy. I think it's real hard to convince kids that a non-district game matters.
Right.
Because they know. They know, okay, guys, like we lost this game. We prefer to win it, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Like district games, there's obviously some skin in the game.
Right.
With these 14 districts, like you got to get to week 9, and then you got to turn it on. And then basically, even though you're already going to the playoffs, you have to find a way to peak.
Yep.
Heading into the playoffs with only 3 games that actually matter.
Yeah.
I think if you're in a 4-team district, I thought you were a realignment loser yesterday. I really do. The more I think about it, I think that that's a bad situation. And finally, Max.
Yes.
It's a bad day for perspective.
It was.
It's a very bad day for perspective.
Perspective was out the window.
You would think that the sky was falling.
Yeah.
You would think that the sky was falling.
It was not good.
Based on the way some teams do.
Yeah.
I want to say this. The folks at the UIL we know and we're friendly with.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they do everything right. And there are things in this realignment I disagree with from a personal perspective. Right. But this lazy argument that like this is all about money. Like UIL is all about. It's like the laziest argument.
It's the weirdest.
What is Dr. Susan Elza going to do with extra money? They're a government organization.
Right.
It's not like she can give herself a raise.
Yeah.
Like they're not personally benefiting off of this.
Know.
I just don't understand that. And it was a bad day for perspective. One thing to remember is that there's a domino effect that if you move one team, then it's going to have ripple effects all the way down the line.
Yeah.
And so I understand if you're not happy with your alignment, but you've got to think of it from a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be upset,
yeah.
but it's not okay to be like, oh man, like they don't know what they're doing. I assure you they do.
Yeah.
I assure you they do. It's just an impossible task.
I just think and I don't blame people, right? It's just difficult to see beyond your own personal situation. It's like when I was talking to San Angelo fans about, yeah, of course there's a better alignment for San Angelo Central. Of course there is. And of course there's a better alignment for District 2 and District 3. Those teams could all have been better aligned for their own personal purposes. That's not the point. Yeah. There are 32 6A districts that have to be organized, and it's a domino effect. And of course, San Angelo Central got the short straw, and the districts around them got a little bit of a short straw. And I guess they would argue that Tascosa didn't.
Right.
That was interesting. Yeah. But anyway, it's about perspective. It can't just be about what's happening right in front of you or even close by. It's about all 32 teams, all 32 districts in 6A or whatever division.
It's about all 12. Yeah, it's about all the teams in that classification. Yeah. So, bad day for perspective. And those are my realignment losers. On Monday, I will tell you the toughest districts in each classification. That's a tease.